Reverend Hale, the expert on demonic arts, at last arrives, encumbered with heavy books he claims are weighted with authority. The Putnams ask that Mr. Hale attend to their daughter Ruth. John Proctor departs, so too does Goody Nurse. Hale boasts that if the devil has come, whatever the form, his books will tell them what to do. Hale attends to Betty and warns all in the room to remain attentive should she try and fly. Paris tells Hale the events of the night before, and when focus is turned to Abigail, she blames Tituba for everything. Tituba is summoned. To Tituba's horror, Abigail says the slave made her drink blood, makes her laugh at prayer, and has corrupted her dreams. Hale questions Tituba, who at first denies communing with the devil. After Paris tells her she must confess or be whipped to death, Tituba says the devil has come to her, telling her that Paris must be killed. Tituba then says when the devil came to her, he came with Goody Good and Goody Osborne. Abigail suddenly cries out that she, too, has seen the devil. She says she has danced for the devil and has written in his book. Abigail screams she has also seen Goody Good and Goody Osborne with the devil. Betty awakes and joins Abigail in the hysteria, taking turns to call out names of townspeople they've seen with the devil. As Act 1 ends, Putnam and Hale call for the authorities to be summoned. The interrogation of Tituba is important for several reasons. On the one hand, Tituba would have raised suspicion for the simple fact that she was a black woman with an accent. 17th century Puritans believed blacks and Indians were without souls, so it would have been easy to assume that a slave girl from Barbados trafficked with the devil. Remember, too, that Goody Putnam sent Ruth to Tituba, assuming the slave could conjure up the spirits of her dead children. Secondly, note that each element of Tituba's harrowing story of witchcraft and devil worship is given to her in the room. Once she is threatened with death, Tituba is quite content to serve up a devil story, the scenario of which was already devised in the heads of Hale, the Putnams, and Paris. Finally, it is important to recognize that in their rush to find the devil, and in their willingness to manipulate a slave girl to do it, the zealots of Salem empower Tituba to destroy them. The theme of role reversal is never more apparent than it is in this scene. As a slave, Tituba was a forgotten entity with little power and even less influence. But in the context of a witch hunt, she is suddenly an instrument of God. Suddenly, she has a platform to say all the things to her master Paris she'd been keeping inside, all cloaked in the voice of the devil, of course. He say Mr. Paris must be killed. Mr. Paris no goodly man, Mr. Paris mean man, and no gentleman. Abigail also reverses her own role. A young woman with a dubious reputation in town, she is facing certain punishment for dancing in the woods and conjuring up spirits, to say nothing of what would happen to her if her affair with John Proctor were discovered. Suddenly, in the chaos of Tituba's so-called confession, Abigail senses an opportunity to empower herself as well, and she takes it. Betty follows suit, and before anyone in the room can catch their breath, Salem had a long list of accused witches. Question 1. When Paris tells Hale about the events in the forest, the focus is turned to Abigail. What does she say about Tituba? That she helped her fight evil spirits, that every night she mysteriously vanishes into the darkness, that she made her drink blood, laugh at prayer, and corrupted her dreams, that she has seen her fly. When the focus is turned to Abigail, she says that Tituba made her drink blood, laugh at prayer, and has corrupted her dreams. Question 2. As a slave, Tituba was a forgotten entity, but in the context of a witch hunt, she is an instrument of God. This is an example of what theme? Patience is power. Role reversal. Expect the unexpected. Every person has potential. Tituba's transformation from a slave to an instrument of God is an example of role reversal. Question 3. How does Abigail react to Tituba's confession? By providing a list of witches. by denying any involvement, by blaming Betty, by fleeing Salem. In the chaos of Tituba's so-called confession, Abigail provides a list of witches.